Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Robbie McKee. I'm the president of Chardon Toastmasters number 7039. And joining me today is District 10 Program Quality Director Alicia Smith-Kirk, along with the Pathways District 10 Education Chair and past District Governor, Bill Simpson.
Good evening. Good morning.
Hello there.
I am a member of Chardon Toastmasters. I have been a member for going on 3 years. I was past secretary and I acted as the VP of Ed for a short period of time. I am currently working on level 4 of presentation mastery. Today we're going to talk about, I finished my speech, now what do I do? And essentially what we want to talk about is moving to the next project, finishing a project and moving to the next project. And then we'll discuss moving to the next level. This is especially important if you've been in the legacy program. There's a few things you have to do to be able to advance. So what I'm going to do right now to start this off is I'm going to share my presentation mastery screen with you, and we will discuss moving through some of the different steps. So now that I'm in my path in presentation mastery, I'm working right now. This speech is in level 3. This project is an elective in project 3, deliver social speeches. And I'm going to launch that. So you'll see that it's loading the title, and I'm going to allow the pop-ups. Now this is at the end of the project, your evaluation. So this is assess your skills after screen. You've already made your presentation. You've presented to your club. You've had your evaluation. So you're going to want to go in and assess your skills. And I'm just going to make some selections. I think a lot of myself, so I'm going to make some really good selections. And then you'll see submit. I'm going to submit this now. So here's a comparison of my before and after statement. And this is something you should be looking for after you complete your project, have presented it, have had your evaluation. You want to compare where you started and where you are now. Now, once I close that, I'm going to go to the next screen, and you'll see that it says, congratulations, you have completed this project. You are now ready to advance to the next project on your path. You will receive an email from Toastmasters International that tells you that you've completed it. Once you receive that email, I'm going to come out of this now, and I'm sorry, I'm going to come out of this and I'm going to go back. And it says launch here. What I'm waiting for it to do is to recognize that I have finished it. If you look below, you'll see using presentation software. There is a check next to the monitor. And there is and I have not moved this to the archive, but you'll get a message that will basically say, you need to evaluate this project. It's extremely important to go through the evaluation the evaluation portion of the project. So once you have finished your self-evaluation and you've gotten the congratulatory message, Toastmasters International will acknowledge that you've finished the project. When you come back into the project again, you'll see that it now says evaluate. Notice that there is a check mark next to the icon, the blue icon, which means it is complete. If you look down, there's a few of those that I've completed. Deliver social speeches. Now what I want to do is go into the evaluation. This is valuable to Toastmasters International because it will give them your feedback on how appropriate the material and the lessons were in this project. I'm going to select continue. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give them my feedback. I'm going to say that I did agree that the project is valuable. And you're welcome to put comments in. The comments can be very helpful. For instance, if I would say, I somewhat disagree, why do I somewhat disagree? That's very important. For right now, I'm going to just be selecting agrees for a timely purpose. It takes just a very short period of time. Should take you no more than 5 minutes. Now you have to understand, this is a time-sensitive facility that you're in right now. You will not be able to complete this evaluation for the entire project if you wait too long. You can save it and return later, or in this case, I'm going to submit my final answers. If you look at the project now, Deliver Social Speeches, it says launch again, but it is complete. It has the check. And if you look to the left, I have level 3 complete and elective projects are complete. At this point, now I'm ready to move on. So let's talk about moving on to a new level next. But before we do that, Alicia or Bill, do you have any comments or anything to add?
Robbie, I just want to add one thing that I noticed was confusing or some members had trouble with in the past. Once you get to the congratulations screen, it's important to X out and close that window. That is what populates the completion, and you'll see the percentage move. So I think you made a good point that the importance of finishing your evaluation, assess your skills after, and I just wanted to add to close out the congratulatory window as well.
Thank you.
The one item I have is the amount of time they have, no more than 10 days. If they do not complete that evaluation within 10-day window, they have no opportunity to. And I like you, I strongly encourage members to do that, because I had some projects that, quite frankly, I did not think were well designed. And I told Toastmasters this. Now, whether or not I'm the only person or whether many other people agree with me, this is how they get feedback and can possibly change projects.
Right, right. Good point, Bill. All right, so what we're going to do now is I have been actively in level 4, so I'm going to move into level 4 now. I have elective projects that I have to complete. And if you should be viewing my screen now, the first one is create a podcast. I'm currently working and manage online meetings. But what I would like to do is I'm going to go into create a podcast. I'm going to go through the motions of completing this so that you can see this is an elective that I need. If I have an elective in place, I can move to the next level. And what I will have to do is tell my VP of Education not to approve this. But for the purposes of this training, I'm going to finish this level. So I'm going to launch this. Now I'm on an iPad, so some of what you're seeing on my screen may look different on yours. Some of the functionality might be a little bit different. I've used my iPhone on this also, and I've also used a desktop. You can still navigate through the same way, but your screen may actually look different when you're actually in the screen. So this is the evaluation. I'm going to go in and I'm going to assess my skills after. I'm going to say that I have completed this project. So I'm going to again go in and I'm just going to give some broad answers. And now I have completed this project. Congratulations. You're now ready to advance to the next project on your path. I'm waiting for it to update. So I've X'd out of it. And it's, okay, so when I'm back to the presentation mastery menu, the main menu, you can see now create a podcast has been completed by the check mark. And I now have the option to evaluate this project. I can evaluate it now, or I can evaluate it later, as long as I make sure that I get it done. If I don't, it's not going to, you have to understand, it's not going to count against your progress, but it could count against other people using this particular project. In other words, if you don't evaluate it and you think changes should be made, those changes are not going to be made. So now my curriculum progress is at 62%. I have completed all of my electives for level 4. And I have one other project that has to be completed. So what I'm going to do now, and I did complete a second, so I'm waiting to see if it will update now. That should put me at 100% so that we can move forward. This will show you the project, what you have to do to complete the project. So in level 4 completion block, in completion box, I need to mark it complete, and then it will have a pending completion approval. At this level, my Vice President of Education will receive a notification. She's going to get an email, and that email will ask her to please approve or disapprove my completion of this level. Until she does that, I cannot move forward into the level 5 of my path. Once, as you see, once this level is completed, then the status will change to completed, and I will be able to view my certificate. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to mark this complete. So that I now am pending completion approval. And once my VP of Ed approves this, then I can move into the 5th level. At this point, I'm going to come out of here and we can entertain any questions and have any closing comments.
Are you guys the only ones on there?
Robert.
Yeah.
Great job, Robbie. Thank you so much for sharing this really valuable information. I have one comment. I think it's important for the member to also send a separate email to their Vice President of Education and alert them that they have finished, because sometimes I've experienced this and others as well. You don't get the notification email as quickly, or sometimes occasionally you don't get it. So as a backup to make sure that there's not an award pending that the VP Ed does not know about, if the member would notify them, that's practical.
Right, right. Very, very, very well said. And again, because I pushed forward with one of the electives, I'm going to contact my VP of Ed and tell her, do not approve my completion. And I will go through this process again in this level. I'll have her approve it later. If there are, Bill, do you have any comments?
No, I think you covered.
Okay,
Although if anybody does listen to this, who's in multiple clubs, make sure you are signed on when you request approval of the level. Make sure you are signed on to the club that you actually want it approved to and credited to. Because if you don't, and I have experience, it is a pain to try to get it corrected. So pay attention.
right. Pay attention to the club you're in where you're completing projects. If there's no other comments or questions, then we'll end this broadcast. Thank you very much for your support and assistance. It's been interesting and fun. Thanks. a lot.
All right, well,
Thank
thanks so much, Roberta. We'll send you an email, so once you get the recording, you can send it to Greg and I.
All right, that sounds good. I'll
right.
send it as soon as it's ready.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.